Good morning and thank you for joining me. My name is Sean Shaughnessy and I am the Chief Investment Officer of MDKS Development Company. Just want to thank you for watching today our video blog. Today we're going to talk a bit about what you need in order to wholesale or fix and flip as far as equipment and software and so on and so forth. But before we do that, please do excuse my gruff appearance this morning. I am just a couple of days removed from abdominal surgery and still kind of trying to get my sea legs, so just kind of forgive me about that. I do have some good information to share with you, and hopefully that information will serve you well. Obviously, the first thing that you need when you are doing either wholesaling or doing something, or fix and flip, is you need a computer. I mean, you need a way to find the properties. Aside from farming an area by driving, driving for dollars and so on and so forth, you need a computer so you, at the very least, you can go on to some of the websites out there and get an idea of what things look like. You can use Google Earth or Google Maps with the street view to see what the area looks like before you waste your time going out and looking at something. So obviously, computer, big deal, gotta have it. Another thing that you want to have is you want to have a scanner. A lot of people say, well, you need to have a fax machine in real estate because of all the wet signatures that you're going to need. And yes, you are going to need wet signatures, there's no doubt about that. But you can go ahead and get your wet signature, run it through your scanner, and then you can email that document to whomever you need to. So there really isn't any need for a fax machine and a dedicated fax line or anything of that nature in order to get up and running as a wholesaler or someone that is fix and flipping and sending a contract to a agent or to a property owner. So scanner, gang, scanner and a printer combination. You do not need a fax. Unless it happens to come with it, and sometimes in today's day and age you can't buy a printer with a multifunction, I guess you'd call it, without having a fax capability, but don't fear if it does not. One thing that you're going to want to have is you're going to want to have some software that you're going to run on that computer. And couple of sites that I think that are very important that you know about. Number one, biggerpockets.com. That is a wealth of information. You got to be wary of the information that you receive, because some of that information, to be very frank, is going to be delivered by rookies, and you don't want to fall down the rabbit hole of using bad information, and before you know it, you're getting yourself in trouble. So make sure you validate that information before you use it. Canva is a fantastic program. If you haven't seen it, it's canva.com, and what it'll allow you to do is it's a graphic design program on steroids, and it's so easy to use. You just upload your files to Canva. You pick out some different thing, size of PDF or internet photo that you want to use, and voila, you download it, you get to use it. It's not a big deal. Now, there is a paid portion of the site that gives you more stock photos and things that would maybe make things a little easier, allow you to do some custom sizing. But I don't necessarily find that to be all that necessary, because they have so much extra. They've sized everything for you. Everything from the size that you would need for a sheet of letterhead to the size that you would need for a Facebook page banner. They've already done the work for you. So I'm not necessarily sold on having to use Canva as a paid version, but it is without a doubt one of the best programs or websites that I have ever seen. As far as other software, Zillow. Zillow's kind of a layup. You're going to want to have Zillow if for no other reason than curiosity's sake. But Zillow has a couple of wonderful options to it. For example, you can go ahead and you can input the property that you're looking for, and it'll pop up on a map. And from there, you can pick and choose what you want to see on that map. So, for example, you could choose to see the most recent solds. You could choose to see the sale price of the properties within a certain area, and even better, you can literally draw a any type of freehand shape around your property, and you can see all the different numbers for within that area that you're looking for. And so, especially with the recently solds, that is a fantastic way of determining ARV, or what we call after repair value, in the real estate investment business. Another one would be Realtor.com. Realtor.com is not nearly as well known as Zillow. However, when it comes to actual information on a property, it tends to be more accurate. At least that's what I've found. So I think it's worth your while to at least bookmark that point. One thing that you are going to want to use is you are going to want to use a camera. And it doesn't have to be a fancy camera. As you can see here, my camera is by no stretch of the imagination a high tech for today's world camera that's going to require you to learn how to do 100,000 things just to get something right. But you want to make sure that your camera will take not only still photos, but will also shoot video. Believe it or not, this little thing right here will do both of those things, and will save it on what's called an SD card. You probably know what that is, but if you don't, an SD card is where that it's what goes into that little slot in your computer that you've always wondered what exactly that's for. It's just another way of storing data. This is a wonderful thing for you to have. So I think this is almost a must. You have to have your camera so that you can take pictures inside and out while you are evaluating a home. Another thing while you're evaluating a home that I think is very important is having a digital voice recorder. And the reason why I say that is because a lot of times when you are viewing a home, you know, you can carry around a piece of paper, a pad, and a pen and write things down as you see them, but a lot of times you will move from one area to the other and forget things that you're looking at. Where if I have this, all I need to do is press the button and voila, I'm taking a note, and I can go back to my office and see exactly what is what my thoughts of the property were, so that I don't make a mistake and forget about something that I may have thought about. A perfect example for me was something that I did here just recently. I forgot to check if there was an actual air conditioning compressor on the home. What a silly thing for me to do, but I didn't do it, and I didn't write it down. And I saw it, I knew that it was not there, but I did not write it down, so I forgot about it. Had I had this, I just would have simply taken it out, pressed the button and said, where's the compressor for the air conditioning? And so this here is a really good thing for you to have. Another thing that you have to have is a CRM, and I just recently did a regular blog on what a CRM is. It is a contact relationship management software program. Many of them now are SaaS, in other words, software as a service based on the internet. And because of that, your information goes with you everywhere. You can put it on your mobile, you can put it on your laptop so it can go with you back and forth wherever you want to go. It is just simply something that you must have in order to keep track of all the properties that you are concentrating on at this particular point in time. Now I want to show you some test equipment that I have. The first thing that you need to have, without a doubt, is you have to have a flashlight. And the reason why is because you may be looking into some crawl spaces or some basements or whatever the case may be. If you don't have this flashlight, you're going to be left in the dark, and it's going to be really hard for you to see exactly where you're going there. Another thing that I find to be very handy that I use myself, this is a digital laser-driven measurement tool. It allows me to take very accurate dimensions of all the rooms of a house. That way I know exactly what I'm getting, and I'm not depending on what the realtor says the size of the rooms are. That is, to me, that gives me a lot more peace of mind knowing that I took the measurements and I know exactly what's going on, as opposed to somebody else. So this is something that you may want to consider. And then finally, this is a temperature gun. And what you do is just simply turn it on, and you turn it on like this. Come on, turn on. Turn on. Turn on. Turn on. Turn on. Well, it doesn't want to turn on right now. Maybe the battery's low. I've been using it quite a bit. But what this is, it's something that what you just simply take it, you point it at a wall, you press the button. Oh, it did it. It's on. I'm sorry. And then it gives you exactly what the temperature is at any particular point in time. And because insulation will vary from one room to the other, it is really important that you know where the hot and the cold spots are in a particular house. That way you can determine what's going on here. Is this an addition? Is there not, was it not insulated to the standard that you would like to see it? This is a great tool for you to have, especially if you want to monitor heating and air conditioning capabilities. Really allows you to focus in on what the temperature is at the thermostat, and then go around the house and find out what the temperature is after the house is cooled down or warmed up, whatever the case may be. So another good thing for you to have. And finally, I want you to have a power team. What is a power team? Well, it is tough to do this business by yourself, okay? And number one, the first person that you're going to want to have on your power team is a realtor, okay? And you don't necessarily want to have a realtor that's been doing it for 15, 20 years. The reason why is because you don't want somebody that really isn't highly motivated. They want to sell retail, they want to sell high dollar. They really don't want to fool around with an investor like you. However, if you find somebody that has been in the business for, say, 2, 3, 4 years, they're going to make it, they've already proven that they can succeed in the business, but they're still hungry, they're still looking for new business, wherever the case may be, this is your ideal realtor. And they can set up what is called a checklist for you, or an automatic listing email that will go out to you every morning of all the listings in the MLS that you can take advantage of and say, yes, I want to look at this property, or want to look at this property, want to look at this property. And that is an extremely valuable tool. I encourage you to find a realtor and put them on your power team. The next one that I think that you should have would be a contractor. And you want a contractor, if for no other reason than to pay them $100 to come out and look at your house and say, Joe, this isn't going to work because this is too damaged and this would take a lot of money to do this. I believe you should stay away from this. I think $100 or $50, whatever your contractor is willing to accept, I think that is money very well spent, especially if you're a fix and flip kind of person, okay? You don't want to get into a situation where you think your ARV is $100,000 and you've got that pegged down, and you think that you're going to be able to, after repairs, net $35,000, but yet you find another $15,000 of repair, and before you know it, you're down to $20,000 and a whole heck of a lot of effort for $20,000. Let's say now it takes 6 months. You know, we're talking about $3,500 per month in order for you to keep this, not including the carrying costs to your hard money lender, which is another person that you need to have on your power team. A lender, a hard money lender, a mushy, if you want to call it that, a mushy lender, whatever the case may be. You want to have one of those on your power team. You want to have a real estate attorney ready for you to go. You want to just simply interview some real estate attorneys. You don't have to do anything with them at this particular time until you get into a situation where a real estate attorney is needed. But you want to make sure that you have that real estate attorney on your power team, which leads me to my last member of the power team, and that would be just a general business attorney, somebody that can take care of contracts, review contracts for you, make sure that everything is on the up and up, and that you aren't being taken advantage of, and that what you're doing is legal. I think that is an extraordinarily valuable part of your power team. So, with all this said, that represents what I think that a well-equipped wholesaler or fix and flip kind of person is going to need in order to get the job done. I really appreciate you watching this video. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to get on my website at www.mdksdevelopment.com, or you can call me at 816-429-5523, 816-429-5523. And again, thank you so much. I do appreciate you watching. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.